Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Viper here. Today we are going to go through some of the basics of setting up the Viper bot. This will include setting up a patrol, having it run, adding some targets to kill, and going through some of my thought process on how I figure out what spells to cast and how to set them up in the bot. So let's get started. First, it's always good when you create a new profile to come in here and check all of your options, but just make sure that everything is set up exactly how you have it. Like for instance, attacking, the default says attack key 1. This is not the key that I am using. The default game key is numpad 0, so we're going to change that. Alright, we're not crafting. I don't want to flee, so let's make sure those are off. I'm not grouping. Invulnerable, this is for if you come to a mob that for some reason you can't kill, it's not targetable, whatever, you want to stop, move on, and keep going. A good round number here to put is around 15 seconds. If you can't initiate combat with it within 15 seconds, you probably don't want to fight it. Now, the max time is how long it takes to fight. 300 seconds is 5 minutes, so that's, that may be a little long. You may want to adjust that, but unless you really have a problem with finding mobs that you can't target, or the battle just goes on and on and on, you probably just leave that alone. Okay, let's just keep going through the options here. This is not a pet class. Player detection. At this point, I really don't care if people are following me or if they're attacking other targets that I am. But let's say you did. Let's say you wanted to avoid attacking other people's targets that they're fighting that may have the same names. Let's say they're doing levy quests and these Opos are popping up around you, and you can't fight them because they're specific to their levy quest. You might want to turn on players near target detection, and what this will do, if this is enabled, it'll look how far the player is, the other player is from you, and how far it is from the target. Let's just keep going on here. Resting. Let's see. For this video, I'm not really too worried about my health getting too low. The defaults are probably fine. What'll happen here is that when I drop below 70 health, the bot will stop, stand still, and just sit around until the health goes back up to 95, and then it'll resume. Targeting. Alright, the confirm key. The confirm key is your auto attack, so make sure this is the right key. Everything else looks good, and let's just save this, and let's jump straight into actually let's set up the patrol first, and then we'll come back on what I go through to set up hotkeys. So this is a GLA test profile. Alright, so as you can see, there's quite a few targets around me. There's so many that it will probably just stand here and not really have to move around to fight too much because they have a pretty fast spawn timer. But let's just go through the process of actually making a patrol, and if you wanted to make a long patrol looking for specific monsters, or you just wanted to have a wider area to run your patrol. So we just click on it, we click auto, and it'll, as you can see, it add a hotspot, and every so often it'll make a ding and add another hotspot. For this demonstration, I'm just going to go around this little area here where all of these Opos are, and I apologize if that's not how you pronounce them. Alright, so we made a little circle path. It only made 2 hotspots. You can actually have it make more hotspots. Let me go ahead and just delete these and show you what defines how often the hotspots come up. So let's see here. On hotspots, the default is 30. So if I was to set this down to, let's just say 10, and I was to run this again, actually let's stop. Let's completely start over here. Let's remove our navigation. Alright, so let's add some more. Now here you'll notice they'll start popping up a lot more frequently. And this may be what you want. It might not. You might want 1 or 2 hotspots on your whole path, so it'll hit one hotspot, travel across the world, and hit another one, and fight some more targets around there. So it's very customizable. Just set it up for your needs. Alright, so we added a patrol. Let's go ahead and bring it back up. It's a little circle patrol, so let's make sure we are on circle. If you make a line, you can actually make a point over here, walk, and another point over here, and it'll walk back and forth. If you make a circle, it'll complete the circle every time. If I was to put this on line, it would actually walk all the way around and then reverse and go back the other direction. So it's kind of up to you how you want to run your patrol. When you automatically add hotspots, it automatically adds the green nav mesh line, so you don't have to worry about that. Targets. All right, we're going to select from targets around us, and again, we are fighting these Oppo things, so we want to add that as a target. Since our hotspots are fairly close together, probably don't want to look too far from them, but again, you can increase this and have it look a pretty good ways from your hotspot. The problem that you might run into if you set this number too big is, I'm standing right here, and if there were no monsters around here, it might pick up one way over there and then just start going straight towards it, and you might run into some obstacles that the bot might get stuck on. So it's usually a good idea to keep this as small as possible and yet still manageable. All right, so we added a target, we added some hotspots. Let's save this. I want to go ahead and start at the closest waypoint. We'll run this path 100 times. Again, there are so many targets here that it'll probably never reach this 100 times, because 100 times is it has to go all the way around back to the first point, and that's one loop. And since these spawn so fast, it will keep finding more and more targets before it actually goes to the next hotspot. But you may want to make this bigger or smaller. There's a few other options in here. You have to go through those and see if that's something that you want to do. Like, let's say one of these creatures for some reason was like a level 50 mixed in here with these level 9s, and you didn't want to attack that one. You could limit what level that you want to look for targets, and some of these other options are more advanced, and we'll cover them in another video. Alright, so let's just save this for now, and let's go through setting up some hotkeys. Alright, now this is a Gladiator. The two main spells that we're probably using for this video, this is a fairly low level guy, I think he's only level 10 or 11, is probably the Fast Blade and the Savage Blade. And the reason only use these two is that they do pretty good damage, kills the mob pretty fast, and don't really have anything else. But I'll show you my thought process on setting these up. Now, Start Fight is it gets fired one time per combat. So if you had some spell in here that you wanted to fire, like let's say we wanted to put, well, let's just go ahead and let's add this Fight or Flight. It's an instant cast and takes, it has a recast time of 90 seconds. All right, so let's just go ahead and add on this Start Fight. It doesn't really matter the priority and everything on Start Fight because you can only add one. So we'll add it. That is key 4. Actually, I made a mistake. Our delay on this one is 90 seconds. Now, this is in milliseconds, so it's 90,000. All right, we're going to add that combo. This combo will fire every 90 seconds, and it will press button 4. All right, now and be sure and use the drop downs. If you don't and you type a value in here and this value isn't supported, it'll give an error. So it's usually best to just always use these little drop downs to set up your hotkeys. All right, now single mob. This is what fires over and over and over. This will loop continuously during the battle. Now in this one, we are going to create a combo. We want to press this button 1, followed by this button 3, so we can get the combo effect. It has a combo potency of 200, which is rather nice. So we want to press 1, and then we want to press 3. Now, priority 0 is most important, and priority 10 is least important. So you're probably going to want to put things like your heals and stuff probably on priority 1, 2, 3. Your other attacks probably around 5, 6, 7. And I like to put my main default attacks, if I have nothing else to press, something high. So we'll set it at 9. Now the delay, I want to just spam these as fast as I can. I don't really care. These mobs are going to die pretty fast anyway. Since I am a fighter type, I have to be fairly close to the target. I'm not exactly sure what the maximum range here. Let's just test it out and see. Let's pull up our statistics. Alright, I am distant 8 from this mob, and if I target him and press 1, he's too far away. Alright, now I'm at 5. Let's see if that's close enough. No, it's not. This has a range. Oh, here it is. This has a range of 3. So let's go ahead and set this. We want to have a max range of 3. So we have to be within 3 units for this spell to go off. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's got 3, and this one is 3 as well. So if you were a caster and you had a range of 25 for your spell, you would put in a max range of 25 in here for your spell. So let's go ahead and create this combo. Again, it says a very short delay because we want to just keep pressing it as fast as we can. It has a range of 3, so we'll move within 3 units and press this spell. Alright, let's add this combo. Now we want to press key 1 first. Here it is. But now we also want to follow it up by pressing 3. So we're going to go in here in advanced. This is a combo. We check the is combo. And the second key is 3. So now let's save this, and let's take a look at it. And so what it's going to happen is it's going to press 1, and it's going to immediately follow it by pressing a 3. Let's go ahead and show you how you would set up a heal. Again, you probably want these low priority. Let's just go ahead and make this one 0. My heal here is a cure from the, I think it's the Conjurer. It has a range of 30, but we're curing ourselves, so it doesn't matter. It has a recast time of 2.5 seconds, but if you're getting damaged pretty fast and you just start spamming this key, the monster could be doing so much damage to you that you would spend all of your time casting heals. So what I like to do is I like to pick some number, much higher, like 8 seconds. So every 8 seconds, if I'm below a certain health threshold, and for this example, let's just set it on 90. So hopefully, maybe I'll take some damage and it'll actually trigger this spell and fire it off. The max range doesn't matter because we're healing ourselves. And let's add this combo. And this is key 9. Alright, so now we have a basic setup. Let's just run this through its paces. Make sure I saved it. And let's just see what happens. Alright, we are going to select the Gladiator test. And let's start this fight and see what happens.
Beginning patrol.
It'll find the closest target to me. It did cast the buff, and then it pressed 1, and then it pressed 3. And it'll just repeat this. It'll press 1, and then it'll press 3. And we might, yes, we just took enough damage. It did cast the cure, healed us up, and then it starts it all over again. Presses 1, presses 3, rinses, and repeats. Alright, let's stop this, because that gives you an idea of how things work. Now, something else that I've found that I kind of like to do, if you have problems of resting where you're damaged quite a bit and then you're just standing there waiting for a couple of minutes for your health to come back up, what you can do is you can come in here into After Fight. This will fire hotkeys after the fight is over. So I kind of like to put a cure here. I'll go ahead and set it for 8 seconds again because we don't want to cast it all too often. The max range doesn't matter. So let's add this, and let's say I only want to press it if my health is less than 80. If I'm at 100, I don't want to press this spell. So after the fight, if my health is less than 80, let's just fire off a cure. It may speed up our recovery time. And let's see, this is key 9. Now, if I'm fighting multiple things and I have multiple enemies on me, I really don't want to take the time to cast a cure and then start fighting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to check this out of combat. So when the fight is over, it will cast this cure if I'm less than 80 health. But if I'm still fighting, if I have multiple mobs on me, it will ignore this and continue fighting. And that's pretty much it. That is a basic setup. I'm going to go through several more classes over the next few days and weeks and try and get as many spell variations and setups as possible to give you an idea of how to set up some spells. And we'll go from there. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.